This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a very festive special edition of the biggest running podcast in Tokyo. I thought I'd put Tokyo in here this week because why not, right? Anyway, welcome to throwing them all out. We've already started recording this twice, by the way, just to give you full transparency. We don't muck about here. We make big mistakes, and we have tonight. This is our second go at this. Anyway, welcome. We've got to welcome our friends and family throughout the globe that are tuning into this, not live because we pre-record this because we wanted Christmas off. So thanks for letting us have Christmas off. We really appreciate it. We've also got to show some love to our friends at Skechers. Go to skechers.co.uk. And we thank them very much for sponsoring this podcast for the whole year. Thank you very much. So, yeah, make sure you get over to them. And we will send some festive love to our friends at Start Fitness. And you can use the code 40 runs over there. And you're going to get 10% off in the January sales, I guess, which I suppose we'll all be talking about in January. Tonight, I'm joined by Wilco. He's guiding aircraft into Stansted Airport. And Ben is guiding aircraft into Watford Airport. We've got Hayden down there in his hat, his little Hobbit hat. And Jatila's still not put the heating on, and I
refuse. I'm not doing it yet. I'm not.
She's not doing it.
I watch the smart meter more than I watch TikTok.
My wife's got me on that thing, right? And it drives me nuts because we're having like a battle on the app. I want it on, right? So at the moment, she's out with the kids at Panto. I've got it fired up to about 27. It's almost trouble. Bud's is downstairs, laying on his back, thinking, "You've got to be mental, mate." Nick's going to come in straight off. That's not coming on all weekend. So what I try and do is, while she's out on a Friday, is heat it up for the weekend because there's no way she'll pay to have it on a weekend.
I'll bank it a bit.
Yeah. Anyway, so tonight we're going to be talking about it's kind of a look back and look forward edition, this one. We thought we'd do a little special looking back and looking forward. So we're going to go through 2023, our highlights, what we think we did well, what we think we did badly, and what we really enjoyed. And then we're going to look forward to some of our goals for 2024. We're going to cram that all into 30 minutes of absolute nonsense. I mean, award-winning podcast talking. We've got to give a shout out to Father Christmas and Mrs. Father Christmas, who are our biggest fans, I think. They've sent in some lovely emails to what email address, Wilco?
longrunshow@gmail.com.
Received a lovely email from them, how he listens to it while he's delivering all the presents, which is really nice of him. So thanks very much. So, how's everyone doing? Wilco, I've got to ask you because I've just done a show with these lot, so I know how they are. You all right?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
I'm buzzing from seeing, to be honest, Polly. I don't know Polly, but I'm seeing Amanda just get a London Marathon place, to be honest.
Well, I'm sure she won't mind me saying this, but like when I was watching the show on the telly, and when you all started laughing, I thought Tracy had got it. particularly when Nettie said, "Oh, it's a long name." And then you all started laughing, and I thought, "Oh, it's Trace. Oh, Tracy's it." But I'm delighted for Amanda as well.
Yeah,
I know she'll absolutely smash it.
And Polly, well done to Polly. Anyway, so we just recorded our. If because you'll be listening to this in sometime in December, we just recorded our London Marathon giveaway, and it was rather epic, wasn't it, young Ben?
It was. I mean, the suspense from Nettie typing.
Yeah, because she had no mic.
We were just sat here like, who's it gonna? Especially me and Hayden, because we were like, is it us?
Yeah, because you were in the ballot, weren't you? Yeah. So you're like thinking it could have been you. I didn't think about that. So you're watching because she had to type it in, right? So you're watching the type box, ready to see. Oh, that's brilliant. That's made it even better for me, really. Okay, right. So look, because we got to cram this in, yeah, because we don't want to be here all night, and again, we're off over Christmas. So let's individually sort of, I think, look back on. Wilco, you've had a balmy one, so we'll come on to you last because you're just going to be reading off PBs. But try and focus, I would say, more about not necessarily the times, but maybe those standout moments. Is that fair? Let's do it like that. Let's look at more, because times, I think, for me personally, are irrelevant. And I think, yes, they tell a story of what you've achieved, but ultimately, I don't think you should be driven by times. I think look for those standout moments. Yeah, that's what I would ask before we start this. So, Jatila, from you, we don't want to ever look at the negatives. So I don't want to look at the bad things happening to it. I want you to give me your What your first and second standout moments of 2023?
Oh, this is a big one. I'm probably going to have to say, because it was only my first, or my only sort of like big race of the year. But I think it would obviously have to be qualifying for Boston, coming off the back end of the previous year where I did London and I kind of didn't really know what to take of it and wasn't sure across the line. I was like, I'm never doing one of those again. But I think for me personally, the beginning of last year was kind of the unknown for me. I didn't know where I wanted to go in terms of my sort of even my career path and then also my running career as well. I wasn't really sure what foot I wanted to put next in front of the other. And I had a bit of a back end of the previous year was a bit slow and things like that. So I think getting the qualification and getting that come through, let alone the race, I think the sign up and the acceptance of it was more exciting and more thrill taking than it was actually doing the race. And it was the one that's kind of made me think that I'm literally in it for the long run. It kind of showed me literally anything's possible, like no matter where you come from or what you're doing, like anything's possible in terms of like future, especially with races. And I've kind of got a little bit more confidence as well. Like I was one of those people that kind of, don't get me wrong, every time I see people at races, I'm always the first one to have a chat going and
You are.
And scream and get all excited and stuff like that. But the people that I've met along this year have really built my confidence, and that goes from anything from my sort of training group, from my previous coaches. I've kind of found that I know that I can do something. So I'm going into the new year now that's like, I know that I'm going to be running this. I'm not nervous. I just want to give it all I've got. As well. And I think definitely the second thing as well, which kind of revolves around a lot of the volunteering that I've been doing over the last year as well, and definitely joining the FORDY RUNS team as well for some volunteering opportunities. It was just fantastic. And I feel like when I first spoke to Marissa towards the middle half of last year after she was on the pod, she was like, you need to come and do some volunteering. You need to get involved. And I found myself in a little bit of a whim of like, I've got these weekends now because I used to work for Run Through. So all of my weekends were just solely like work. I kind of felt like a little bit lost in the middle of it. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do or how I wanted to use my free time. And coming and volunteering and doing some things at Parkrun and then the 40 Runs group, it's just been next to none. And I kind of feel like I'm going into 2024 with a new outlook on things, and sort of speaking to Chris on the pod a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, we're doing the pre-record. We only spoke to him last night, but volunteering for charities that mean things to you as well. So I've kind of got a few things in my mind that
You're not allowed to talk about 2024 yet.
I know, but it's like, it's the build-up of it.
Put it in a jar and hold it for a minute.
Okay,
Come
yeah.
back to you.
Okay, but yeah, it's just had a good outlook from that,
Yeah.
speaking to people from 2023 that have shown me. I've met some incredible friends that I'm going to take into sort of the new year, ones that I'm running with towards at the end. And I'm excited. I think this is the most positive I've been going into a new year for every aspect.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good
definitely.
for you, mate. Right, Hayden, same question, but you're not allowed to mention 6 stars.
That's just stupid, isn't it? Absolutely stupid.
You can talk about anything you like for 3 minutes, but you're not allowed to mention the words 6 stars.
I don't need to mention the words of them because getting that medal isn't the be all and end all of my year. Honestly, I've had an unbelievable year, and it is hard to quantify, put them into some sort of order. But one thing I will resonate with you, Chris, this year, I haven't PB'd in any races whatsoever, apart from a 5K a little while ago, but I think my Garmin was a bit dodgy. But apart from that, I haven't PB'd in anything this year. So for me, definitely, and this has been my best running year ever. So it's not about times, absolutely not. 2 standout moments, probably the moment when I was on the bus at Boston, when I got off by the start line, walking up there and actually realising, shit, this is happening. You're running Boston. That's something that would stay with me for a long, long time. And that was unbelievable. But probably, absolutely the top. I won't mention the 6 stars.
Oh, go on. Yeah, I'll let you.
Crossing the finish, the whole New York experience, the emotion that come with it, and crossing the finish line. Wow, that feeling there. I don't know how I'm going to emulate that, but I say that aside. Honestly, things just like the National Running Show, the live podcast we done there, the Isle of Wight Park Run, The other various extreme park runs we've done. Bladen races, that was brilliant. Great North Run this year, absolutely amazing. Tokyo, no, not so good actually. It's past Tokyo. Chicago, once again, the bobble hat run. Honestly, this year has been absolutely incredible. But definitely Boston is going to have to top it off for me. But that crossing the finish line in New York, realizing that everything I've worked for a hell of a long time is actually there, and I've got it. Yeah, that feeling is definitely going to top my running list this year. But it's overall, wow, what a year! And that included no PB. So do you know what?
I like the fact you did mention your wife. I'll message you in a minute and let her know that you really enjoyed her company.
You know what? Yeah, I need to step in there. Sorry, yeah.
Ben, come on. Let's have your two. You've got 3 minutes.
I mean, it's hard to narrow it down to two. So I'm going to go. My first one's London. Like, that was my first marathon. So nothing will ever beat that experience of, running in your home city, running a marathon. I think you see it on the TV and actually running it and coming round into Canary Wharf with the FORDY cheer squad there. I think I've said it a couple of times during the year on here, that I did, as I'd gone past them and kind of clocked everyone, I did have a tear in my eye, and it did, like, that just got me through kind of right until the end. So London for me is up there. Like, that's got to be my, like, the key moment for the year. The other one's a real kind of amalgamation of things. It's the different race experiences. Running with you in Berlin was insane. Like, that was, what we at mile 21 singing "Gimme, Gimme, Gimme." That was brilliant. The Christmas run to celebrate the London Satellite's first birthday, that was immense. Chicago, like, I think it was all the various meetups. Hayden touched on it. Great North, the Extreme Park Run. So actually, all of those. I've had an amazing year running, but actually, it's the experiences that I've had that I'll take away from it. We've always said most of the time I'm a social.
You're the cameraman.
I am the cameraman. I will be in the pub. I remember tuning into the long run while I was in Berlin, and just at the point where you're like, yes, he's in the bar and he's got a marathon in 2 days. But I do it for the social aspect as much as for, there'll be races I go for times and stuff like that. And it's been a fantastic year. But actually, all the meetups for me are something I'll take away out of this year. Like, this is what the club's about. This is what the community is about. And it's just so nice seeing everyone all the time.
Right, Wilco, you've got to top that.
Sorry.
And you can't mention PBs.
Well, okay. I had a lot of successful races where I beat all my previous best times. So
well done. Well done.
I mean, from a running perspective, the one that I really stood out really is breaking 25 minutes for a park run, which is something that I've been aiming to do for a long, long time, and didn't think that, I thought, well, I'm past 50 now, perhaps that's not going to happen, and to have knuckled down and to have done that in the last few weeks is really pleasing. I think the decision not to do an autumn marathon after doing 4 in 18 months was a really good one. And so if I did another 4, then I'd definitely have a break, have a fallow 6 months. I think that worked really well, and I'd thoroughly recommend that. As for the highlight, Ben has already touched upon it. The Christmas shakeout the other week was just an amazing experience. And I found it being somebody who primarily enjoys the 40 runs experience for the social opportunities. I mean, my mum talks about when I was 6 years old going to his parents' evening and the teacher saying to her, I think Ian just comes to school for the social life, when I was 6. And I've always been like that. It's all, whatever I've done, it's always been about the people that I meet and, the experiences I share with other people. And I found that night quite emotional because I was in that shop and then we sat in the pub afterwards, and I'm sitting around thinking, 5 years ago, I didn't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I didn't know any of these people. I didn't run at all. And this is what's been brought into my life. And, I love doing a podcast, but I'm not the sort of person who's bothered about how many Instagram followers he's got and all that sort of thing. What it has brought to me is that it has given me a higher profile within the group, and I've been able to meet so many great, great people. And it's all been an extension of that IB for 40 runs. And I think that was really, really important. And I think that was really important. And I think that was really, 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 was a brilliant week. Fair, and just meeting up like Southend when we all get to Southend, even though it was hotter than the sun. All those sort of things. There's been so many highlights that it's hard to touch upon. But apart from the personal performances, I think the social aspect has been fantastic, and I've enjoyed that more than anything.
It's an interesting thread that runs through it. I mean, Gentile, on your own side of things, with the social side of it, you obviously come into the 40 runs, let's say, mayhem through with the volunteering as well. But the thread that runs through the four of you with regard to the social aspect of it, despite being a club that's all over the world, but all over the country, it's amazing to hear. I think really when you actually, and I'll be genuinely honest, Wilco, what you just said actually it made me quite emotional. I've been serious. I'm not showing it now, but I genuinely, what you said about the friends and the people that you've met over the last 5 years absolutely sums up why I started what I started. And you, my friend, all of you, but you, what you just said, I couldn't have said it any better. What this madness is actually all about. And you've got to remember, the podcast is a platform in which we highlight the trials and tribulations of the everyday runner, right? The YouTube channel as well. Yeah, it's all shoe reviews, but actually, ultimately, it's me every week with my journey and and everybody else who appears on the channel. And the community that runs across all the different social media platforms that we have, all the different clubs, all the different satellite groups, everything like that. There's one thread that runs through it all, and it's that having fun together and meeting new people. And ultimately, again, I go back 6 years. I was sat Greenwich Park on my own, riddled with anxiety. Now look at us.
Yeah. There is a caveat to Wilco's. He was about 6 pints of Guinness in when he
started. That's true. Bring it back to normal.
There's also absolutely shit. There is also a caveat that you've already done one show and it's gone 8:30 on a Friday, and I'm about 3 pints anyway.
Yeah, good boy. Well done.
A little bit emotional.
You nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. And you've all described all the stuff that I'm proud of this year. I would say everything you've said. All the Great North Run, the live shows and everything that we've done, and the meeting people, the extreme park runs, the community, the growth of the club. It's the biggest in the country. All the stuff that we've done. Personally, I absolutely loved Berlin with Ben. I would never change that. That I've said it to him. That's the best marathon. I don't think I'm ever going to top that in terms of the fun we had. It was an absolute piss take all the way around.
It really
you
was.
know what I mean? There's people like crawling, and me and him were having selfies with policemen, and then singing ABBA.
Hold on, you weren't allowed in those selfies. I'm just
true. Funny, I was taking the picture.
Yes,
but also the emotion, the genuine joy of seeing Hayden after I finished the New York Marathon. I think if anybody's seen that video, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Of seeing him complete his dream is still one of the things that's it's just an amazing thing to personally to get there, because obviously I said it openly. I could never. I'm scared of flying and all that sort of stuff. So for me, that was a huge journey to go over there. But to be able to see him do it was hugely emotional for me, and I'm immensely proud that I was there at that time to see him do that. It really was a truly amazing. But yeah, you guys have killed it with all the other stuff. Okay, right. We've now got to go to Chiller. Now you can open that jar up a bit. We're now going to go into 2024. Okay. Now, actually, before I start 24, I'm going to give everyone a little spoiler, because this is coming out in December something or other, isn't it? There is a huge announcement coming from 40 Runs in 2024 that is going to change the landscape of running clubs beyond comprehension. All right. I'm not going to say any more than that. But if you're listening to this and you are not part of this club, it's free to join. There's no reason not to be a member. All right. Yes, we're not everybody's cup of tea. I fully appreciate that. Right. But if you listen and resonate with anything that the people have said on here tonight, join. It's free. All right. There's local running groups all over the country. You can be part of virtually if you're a solo runner. Do trail running. Whatever you want to do. Get involved with volunteering. However you want to be involved in any shape or form. All right. In 2024, we are going to blow the bloody doors off. I kid you not. Hayden, true or not?
Absolutely 100% true.
It will stop you in your tracks and you will go, You've done what? I'm telling you. As I'm sitting here, you'll be like, where did you get that from? Anyway, so you've been warned, people. So, Chatilla, 2024, open that jar back up. Take out the nugget that you put in there.
I kind of think you hit it off right from the go with the first thing that I'm excited for 2024, and it's literally next month. So it's the extreme park run that we're doing, 40 runs in Dover. And I mean, it's going to be my first one. And I think the whole aspect of it being just the whole community, the whole family together, and it being my birthday weekend. I don't know what it is, but I'm so excited for it. Like just the aspect of getting everyone together, keeping it at a low budget. Like I know that Hayden's done so well with trying to keep that cap to like the £30 with the travel and everything like that, keeps it well in with everyone's budget. And it's something great that's going to kickstart the year and start everybody's prep for their sort of spring plans and things like that. So it's amazing. And then it also ties in quite nicely because I was just trying to have a little flick through whilst you were talking. It will actually be a year in March that I was first on the pod as a guest.
Wow, there we go.
So it was March. And I was looking back through and I was like, oh my gosh, it was March. I thought it was more like July. No, it was March.
Brilliant.
And it's come around so quick. So obviously I'm excited to see just exactly where the pod goes and being able to just get involved with more stuff, with more people, and just get involved and be more of sort of like a community aspect and meet new people and volunteer at more things. I've already got like the new calendar sort of pinned to my eyes, thanks to sort of Marissa and the team there as well. So yeah, I'm super excited to just get involved outside of the running, because obviously you need to have time to just enjoy apart from being on your feet. So that's definitely like one of my key sort of starts to the year. So it's a good start. And then I think going into the new year, I always set myself sort of one goal that's around spring, and then I kind of fall off the bandwagon and I kind of struggle with the back end of the year. So I'm tackling 2 marathons this year, which I'm excited about. I'm very nervous, but I'm ready for the challenge. And I think I'm just going to smash it. Like I've got to keep the positivity going with that as well. So I'm doing London, if I managed to get the good for age, failed obviously with the ballot, and then Chicago as well, which I'll be tying in with a friend who lives out there, so I don't have to pay those extortionate prices for accommodation. Absolute legend.
Nice, Dave.
So yeah, that's going to be like the goal. I think come the end of the year, I'll sort of look back on this sort of episode and be like, yeah, you absolutely smashed it. But no, those 2 things I think are super key for me to really tackle and challenge and just enjoy, and just triple the amount of people that I've come in contact with, try and help, giving advice to, volunteering, just want to expand that area, which has been super, super grateful, especially to you guys. If it wasn't for Hayden, me approaching Hayden on that dingy, like I think it was like a January morning, we got chatting. I was like, I recognise you. How can you not recognise that tanned God like lurking in the distance in his bright pink 40 runs top to now? So it's amazing what we can do, especially going into the new year. So
honestly, it's gonna next year. Honestly, mate, I'm not just making it up. It's gonna blow your mind. Hayden, apart from finding some like really good de-aging creams and working on your tan, what have you got that you think for 2024 is going to keep you straight and narrow, that you're really, really up for in 2024?
Straight off the bat in February, Las Vegas. I got Las Vegas half marathon, and that's always been on my sort of like bucket list, along with New York and a few of the others. So that is like almost like one of the final ones to tick off. So kicking off the year with that, can't wait for that. I actually planned on next year. It's Louise, our missus, always said next year let's calm this down. Let's go on more holidays and relax. Let's go and see our friends more. Let's do it. And we're like, yeah, of course. And now we find ourselves today. We've got Las Vegas booked. We've got Berlin booked. We've got Great North booked. We've got Chicago booked. We've got, honestly, it just ain't got Prague. We're going to go Prague to the super half. London, is it on the card? It's just non-stop, this whole running thing. It just gets you. And I feel as though I need it, because after last year, I just wasn't sure where I was going to go next year. You know, you have one of them years where it's just unbelievable. And you think, what the hell am I going to do to top that next year? But already I'm looking at the calendar and speaking with you guys and early on in the show, definitely feel like a bit of energy coming back and a bit of excitement. The only thing I do need, and to be fair, we've done this exact show a year ago pre-recorded it for Christmas, and you said to me, "What is it you want from Santa?" And I said to you, "I would love a new knee."
A new knee.
And you know what? A year on, I still ain't got it, and I still really want it. So
That's because you've not been a good boy.
maybe that's what it is.
If you started
Maybe
being a
that's what it
good
is.
boy,
Okay.
right? Yeah, and stop like living in the Shire, move out the Shire, grow a bit, stop using fake tan, you might get on his good list. Hey,
If that's what I've got to do to get a good knee, then yeah, I need to change my ways in the new year.
there
New
is
Year
that. Right,
resolution.
Benny boy.
Too busy for a
Oh.
new knee, Hayden.
Yeah,
Exactly, that
right,
is true.
Benny boy. One thing that you want for 2024, one thing only.
Keep it clean.
Okay, yeah, and it can't involve policemen, firemen, pilots. Oh, he's just bugging now. He left.
Genuinely, my mind
Yeah.
hadn't gone there until you said that. My one thing. Okay, this is time related.
that's
So
fine.
this for me.
Perfect.
So
It's personal.
Boston qualifier time next year.
Okay.
That's what I want
Which
from
is what?
the year. So officially 3:10, but obviously with this year,
Yeah.
it was like 5.5 minutes under, so around 3:04. And so in my mind, that's
Doable.
effectively sub 3. Right. If I'm going to go 3:04, I'm putting it out there. I'm going to go sub 3 this year. I'm going to cut the corner at Chicago. I'm not.
Don't you get
I'm
a
really
little bit
not.
of don't you get a little bit of leeway with your forthcoming landmark birthday? Doesn't that give you a little bit
No.
more of a window?
Sadly not.
Doesn't
I've
it?
already taken
Yeah,
that
when
into
do you go
account.
up a grade?
It was this year because it's the age at which. So this is why I do. So you run it while you're 39 because for Boston I would already have been 40 next year.
Right.
So I've got to wait until I'm your age now, Chris, before I jump up an
Imagine
hour.
if you had to wait for Hayden's age another 30 years, bleeding hell.
You'd be in trouble.
Right, Wilco. So he's going Boston. Hayden wants a new knee. Jatila's just showing the love. What about you, big boy, for 2024?
I'm looking forward to seeing where I can go with my marathon training and my marathon running, because obviously, I've had a pretty successful last 3 or 4 months at half marathons, and that's sort of like opened my eyes a little bit about what I could potentially do at 26.2. So I'm going to be knuckling down. I probably won't have too many distractions, hopefully, so I can concentrate on me running. Give it a good go because I'm doing Leeds in May, which I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, with the Rhinos. I was aiming to do it last year, but the weeks clashed and I did Manchester instead. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, I'm interested to see where it can go, really. So, and I'll do a to be announced marathon in sort of September, October time as well. So,
Stevenage.
well, yeah, let's talk about Stevenage. Darren Murley, I'll give him a shout out. He is a brilliant salesman, and he's been giving it the large about telling everybody, the world and his wife, about this every 10 years event in Stevenage in Hertfordshire. They're having
How many laps is it?
It's one. Well, I don't know.
Isn't it 4 laps?
Is it?
Of what? Of that park run?
Yeah, 8 laps of
8
Fairlands
laps of park
Park.
run. Yeah.
No, I don't know. Darren Murley's your man. He'll tell you. He'll know.
We should get him on, sell it.
Yes, definitely.
Everyone
And he
I mean,
would.
it's cheap. It is cheap.
40
Yeah,
quid.
that's what he keeps telling everyone. I'm sure
Yeah.
he's on the take.
Yeah, he booked it for 40 quid. He's on 20%, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it will be either at home or abroad. There might be a few options. I'm still looking at, really. I doubt it will be Stevenage, but we'll wait and see.
Never
So
say never.
that's the main plan. Knuckle
it.
down.
Right, so
Cowboy
come
up,
down.
get
I
on
know
with it.
you're not gonna do it politely, and you're not one to be shy. But come on, Chris, you've got to tell us now instead of giving us all praise. Now, let's have a listen. Tell us what your plans are for next year, and be bold. Go out there, be brave like Ben. Tell us what do you want from next year. What would
Running
you
or
like
non-running?
this time next year? What would you like to be saying? That is what I wanted this year, and I've done it.
Running or non-running?
One of both.
Yeah, one of both.
You're like admin.
Good call.
You're like admin part 2.
Learn from the best.
Running wise, I want to run a good race in Berlin. If that doesn't mean a time, that means a good race. I mean, so I feel strong. So I've done it. I'm using London as a training block to get myself back in shape, because obviously I had the setback at the end of this year, which is still not right, by the way. I'm sitting here in agony, my back. But use London as a training block, as a base building phase, which might seem nuts, but that's the way I'm looking at London. to then have a good race in Berlin. I can never top what Ben and I did in 2023, never. But I want to use the opportunity to see what I can do for myself. More, I struggle not physically but mentally in races. I mean, Ben can tell you, but because he's done one with me, but I struggle more on the mental side of it. So I want to run a clean race, like I did in London this year. Really, a clean race. Yeah, that would be the optimal. And whatever time that pushes out that time, which I couldn't really give a toss really. If it's 5 hours, if it's 3, whatever you said, I've got to run for Chicago. Whatever it is, it is what it is, sort of thing. Outside of that, I hope I take. This sounds very selfish. I hope I take more time for myself in 2024. Because I feel myself always doing too much with everything that I do. So I'm hoping that if I take a little less time in doing everything, then I could be a bit more productive. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So, not focusing on one certain thing. Obviously, we've got many different things that we do at 40 Runs. I'm hoping that what we announce in February will sort of take care of the club and that sort of deals with that side of things. I'm hoping that the YouTube channel takes care of itself in a way that I can then produce the content that I like to do. I hope that the community sort of, you've got amazing people there who sort of help grow that. People like Alan, Carolyn, yourself, and everybody else involved in the community, where that sort of, that's organically doing its own thing. I hope I'm able to take a step back and just take care of myself a bit better than I did in 2023. Is that fair?
It's fair.
I don't want to take those ADHD medication, basically.
Yeah. Remember to take your pills, eh?
Yeah, that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to have to take my pills. So yeah, that's a selfish thing. That's a personal thing to share. That I want to take a little bit less time involved in everything, so I can concentrate on looking after myself, which is probably. And obviously, as you all know, because I've said it openly, the running helps everything that I do anyway. So hopefully, the more running I'm able to do, then everything will sort of take care of itself from there. So yes, I think that's probably a great way to finish it. I hope everybody listens to this and goes, you know what did I actually really sort of nail down? What was a highlight for me in 2023? It doesn't have to be, I ran a 5K PB. No. What was the standout moment? Whether it was finishing that, crossing the line, or getting off that couch, or coming back from injury, or going to your first 40 Runs meetup, right? Coming along to the Skechers store going, we can't be running at this time of night in Oxford Street with this amount of people, right? But also going forward, to 2024, what is it? Is it a time goal like Ben? Is it, what Jatila was saying about, in terms of the personal growth, or what Wilco was saying about enjoying the marathon process a little bit more, what Hayden, or my own, like personal in terms of, taking care of yourself a little bit more, whatever it is, make sure you do it. Take 10 minutes out of your busy day. Go, you know what? And write it down. Get yourself a journal, Hayden.
Do you know you can get any?
Yeah.
I believe there's one on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Oh,
But you probably can't get it in time. Well, it's worth trying to get in time for Christmas, isn't it?
I have to have a
should
look.
already have one.
Well,
if
Santa's a 40, maybe you could just put it on the group on Facebook or something, and he'll just pick it up and drop one off.
Yeah, just get Santa. Santa's got loads of them. He works for Amazon. I'm sure Santa works for Amazon. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, he's on Prime.
I reckon. I reckon. Those planes they've got Prime in. I reckon that's Santa's plane.
That's what I'm directing now.
Yeah, we're just seeing them down, mate.
You're just directing him into Luton. Right. Okay. That's a great way to finish the show. It's the 22nd. Did we say it's 22nd? This is going out.
22nd.
Yep.
So we want to wish you all a Merry Christmas now, because next week's show is another pre-record with Mr. Six Star himself, where we talk about his 6-star journey. It's a great episode. Please listen to it. Even if you've got no interest in ever doing them, it's a fantastic story and an everyday runner achieving his goal. That's not blowing smoke up his ass because he's sitting there. It is a true story, and it's brilliant. And I think it will just give you a little insight and hopefully inspire you to maybe think you can do something that you maybe think you probably couldn't do. So make sure you listen to that. But yes, Merry Christmas from me, from the Long Run Show. Thank you to everybody who supported this podcast over the 2023. We will be back in the new year, and we'll be discussing Christ knows whatever we've come up with. We'll come up with some topic 5 minutes beforehand, like we usually do. Don't forget, we will be live at the National Running Show on the 20th. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. 20th of January.
Correct.
We are on at 11 something.
11.
And we're going to be talking about can everyday runners do the world majors? It's going to be a fascinating discussion. We've got a special guest lined up to talk about that with us as well, live on stage. So make sure you come along to that. That's it. I just wanted to say thanks very much. Again, big shout out to Skechers for supporting us the past year. We love you. Thank you very much. Go to skechers.co.uk. Guys, wish everybody Merry Christmas for me quickly.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
And
boys.
Ben, take us out.
Bye, boys.